Live from LeFebvre Stadium on the campus of Placer High School. Touchdown Productions, celebrating our 20th season of local high school sports television, is proud to present the CIF Sac Joaquin Section Les Schwab Tires Division IV Football Playoffs, presented by Farmers Insurance. Tonight, as we take our first step on the road to the section title, your Placer Hillmen take on the Liberty Ranch Hawks. It's a Veterans Day football celebration, and all the playoff action is coming up right here, right now, on your 20th anniversary NorCal Game of the Week. The Hillmen take the home field tonight for the first of potentially 2 home games, but first they must get past their opponent tonight, the Liberty Ranch Hawks. This is Steve Sitter, Paul Brown, and Gil Dominguez saying thank you to all our veterans as we honor you tonight with our broadcast. So welcome, vets. We hope you enjoy the game. Paul, the Hillmen finished the season with a loss last week, but they still received the number 2 seed in the playoffs.
Yeah, you know, the Hillmen, they basically caught a break, Steve, as they moved down to Division IV. The PVL is a strong league, and that is representation of their seeding tonight and the possibility of getting 2 home games.
And the fact that there are only 8 teams means they're only 2 games away from the championship game.
That's true. And as for the Liberty Hawks, well, they're co-champs in the Sierra Valley Conference with a 4-1 record, but they only received the number 10 seed. So this will be a very interesting and hard-fought game, Steve, in my estimation. And in the playoffs, when you win, you turn in your, if you don't win, you turn in your equipment on Monday. Additionally, this is Veterans Day, so many teams decided to play on Thursday. So as a result, we already have some scores that I'll be discussing with you when we catch up and look at the playoff grades later.
Yeah, there's certainly a lot at stake here tonight as we present round 1 of the playoffs. So thank you for joining us tonight as we salute our veterans and hopefully offer them a pretty good playoff game tonight. And with the teams on the field, we will step aside. When we return, we'll take our walk around the foothills and get you caught up on all the final league standings and updated playoff grids. So stay with us here at LeFebvre Stadium. You're watching exclusive coverage of Placer Hillmen football right here on the 20th anniversary season of the NorCal Game of the Week at touchdownproductions.com.
With nearly 30 years of proudly serving our community, Auburn Toyota is expanding to offer more new Toyota inventory than ever before. Chances are we have the exact Toyota model you want, ready for you to drive home today. With many years of combined sales experience and hundreds of new Toyota cars, trucks, 4x4s, and SUVs, now is the perfect time to buy at Auburn Toyota. Come see why for generations Foothill Toyota buyers buy from Auburn Toyota, which is why we like to say Auburn Toyota is the place where the customers come back.
Welcome back to Placer High School. Just about to start round 1 of the section playoffs, but first let's take a look at the final results and the playoff grids, Paul.
And what a good PVL it has been this year, Steve. There you have it. All the games are in. Lincoln and Placer ended up tied 4-1 for league, followed closely by Center, Colfax, Bear River, not having the season we had hoped for, and then Foothill not getting a league win this year. But as you can see, Placer ended up with a 5-5 overall record, but they did well in league. So that's why they're here tonight and possibly going to get 2 home games. Let's move now on to Division IV. You can see the grid there. And as you can see, Center came up with a surprise win. They were the number 6 seed over Sierra, and they did win 29-27. That game was played yesterday. So Center would be the candidate for a second Placer game, providing they were to win here tonight against Liberty Ranch. Moving on now to Division V, another upset, and we'll see our Colfax team actually came in and beat the number 2 seed Hillmar 42-21. I don't have any statistics on that game, but congratulations to Colfax. They must have played every player, and everybody must have had a top-rate game to score 42 points against that Hillmar team that was number 2 seed.
Yeah, for a pretty short squad that Colfax had this year, they really came up big in a lot of games. We saw them against Bear River. We saw them against Placer. They are a surprisingly scrappy team.
They really are, and you know what? I'm not terribly surprised that they came up with that win. They had a lot of potential, and when they put it all together, they can really be a good team. Steve, let's talk about the Sierra Valley Conference football standings. Interesting that the Liberty Ranch Hawks are here tonight.
Yeah, they end up finishing tied for first with El Dorado and Cordova, oddly enough. And unlike in the PVL where we had that tie with Placer and Lincoln, the only record that was worse than 8-2 of those three teams was Cordova at 7-3 overall. So Placer at 5-5, at least on paper, just looking at their standings, looks like they'd be the underdog, but they actually are not, according to Max Preps. Placer, it does have the higher seed, and let's talk a little bit about Liberty Ranch football. Last week, they defeated Grant 17-6. The score at halftime was 0-0. The Galt quarterback went 2 for 12 for 32 total yards and 2 interceptions. Meanwhile, the Liberty Ranch quarterback, Rick Van Houten, went 2 for 14 for 53 yards. Galt averaged just over 3.5 yards per carry. Liberty Ranch only averaged 4.7. And Galt only got 190 total yards. Liberty Ranch only totaled 204. That was a defensive struggle.
Looks like this Liberty Ranch team is a throwing team then, huh, Steve?
Actually not. They rush average about 267 yards per game. They only throw for 52 yards per game. Van Houten has thrown total across 10 games, 6 touchdowns and 1 interception in 71 attempts. So that is just over 7 pass attempts per game. That is surprisingly low at the varsity level.
And I'm thinking that we've seen the Placer Hillmen a number of times this year, Steve, and I would say that their Achilles heel is probably their pass defense.
Oh, absolutely, especially in last week's game.
Absolutely. I mean, let's face it, the Zebras came back and beat them with the forward pass, and if they were facing a passing team here, I think they would be suspect. But they are a very good team when it comes to defending the run, and that's what they're going to see tonight here. The Hawks are 8-2 overall, and most of their offense is by handing the football to one of their 2 big backs.
And how about this comparative stat? Last week, the Liberty Ranch Galt game, there were a total across both teams of 394 yards of offense. In Lincoln, against Placer, there were 1,049.
Wow.
3 times as many total yards gained. So these are very different strategies from both of these teams. Placer has focused a lot on offense. Liberty Ranch has focused a lot on defense. They only give up about 11 points per game. So that brings us to tonight's keys. For Placer, forget about last week. These are the games that matter. This is, a tried and true sentiment. You get to the playoffs, that's great. You had a great regular season. These are the games that really matter. Nothing that happened before this week matters at all. For Liberty Ranch, shut down the ground attack of Placer and forced Stuck to throw. He is just a sophomore. He doesn't have a whole lot of experience out there. This is his first postseason as a starting quarterback, so it's very possible he could get rattled, especially if Liberty Ranch comes out strong in the opening quarter. The number 1 key tonight, it's going to be Placer's offense, which averages 29 points per game against Liberty Ranch's defense, which only gives up about 11.
Tonight, the only exception we'll have tonight, Johnny Callahan, the second-string quarterback and a very fine defensive back. He is a junior. He'll be out tonight, I understand, with a concussion protocol. So that will be one factor in the defense for Placer tonight. Looking down the roster for Placer, Steve, this has been an excellent team. It's 5-5. Yes, it's not the 10-0 team we saw last year, but they've risen to the occasion on some very important games. And I think tonight that team that we saw 3 weeks ago is the team that we need to see come tonight to beat these Liberty Hawks.
Absolutely. The 3 main running backs in Kerrigan, Rain Robinson, and Perez really have to show up tonight.
They really do.
Both Kerrigan and Perez average over 100 yards per game. Liberty Ranch only has 1 rusher that averages over 100, and that is Camille Jones, who, as well as their star running back, is also a cornerback and their kick returner. So he'll be pulling triple duty tonight. So as the teams continue their warm-ups, the clock winds down to the opening kickoff. We will take our second break of the night, and when we come back, we will have first-round action here in the 2016 playoffs, right here on the 20th anniversary season of the NorCal Game of the Week at touchdownproductions.com.
Hey, hon, remember the guys are coming over later to watch the game.
Make a play for winning trays from Portisupps. We have the perfect tray for every game and every fan. So use your app or order online today.
Make Portisupps your destination.
Happy Veterans Day, one and all, and thank you, veterans, for your service to our country as we celebrate the first round of the football playoffs up here in the foothills. Placer wins the toss and elects to defer, so the Liberty Ranch Hawks will have the first possession of the first half.
Looks like back to receive Selwyn Jones. He'll be back number 10. Also back, it would appear, is number 14, Steve, Chandler Garcia. And it will be Garcia.
That's going to be taken at about the 5. Placer gets pretty good coverage downfield, but a nice hole opens up on the left side, and Liberty Ranch will start outside their own 30. So pretty good opening field position.
Like we talked about in the pregame, Rick Van Houten will be the quarterback for the Hawks. There's a number of backs he has to choose from. We'll see who they start in the backfield.
And Camille Jones is easily the star. Averages about 130 yards per game. He is the man in motion, and he gets the opening handoff, cuts back inside. Placer fills the hole and stops it for no gain.
You can see Jones. He is a rangy kind of runner, 6 foot, 165 pounds. Like Steve said, he is the star.
Actually, I have a mark down for a loss of half a yard. This time a handoff to Logan Cochran, and Cochran runs smack into Colin Wright, and he drags him back a couple yards. The result of that play will be a loss of another yard.
And then fired up. Placer Hillmen defense high-fiving each other on the field as they should be. They've got a third down now and about 12. Maybe we'll get a chance to see if Van Houten's arm is worth a darn here.
Well, he only averages about half a touchdown per game. And for a senior quarterback, that is rather strange.
They're going to put Jones in the slot.
Now they're going to pitch it to Mason Peterson. Peterson gets dragged down. That looked like Rain Robinson.
I think it was Robinson's. Take a look, number 22 for Placer. It is Rain Robinson, the senior. Well done. Good start for the Placer Hillmen. They're going to get good field position right off the get-go.
And they've got 2 receivers back. That's Hugh Hansen on the right. Good snap, and it's kind of a wobbly short kick into the wind that actually flies out of bounds just past the 50-yard line. So as you said, Paul, excellent starting field position for the Hillmen.
They're going to keep walking. He's walking. I think he's going to mark it right at the 50 or right thereabouts.
At 49. A nice 3 and out. That's good to see after Lincoln consistently converted on third down last week to get a nice quick 3 and out for the Hillmen.
So let's see if the Hawks have had a dose of the wing T before now.
And it's actually going to be a pass play from Stuck. Stuck going deep, has a man up and complete. Anthony Kerrigan with a huge completion.
Wow, we haven't seen Anthony Kerrigan catch many passes, but he went up to get that one, stopped short, went up, got his fingertips together and plucked it out of the air. Nice catch and good starting play for the Hillmen.
22-yard reception. This time a handoff to Kerrigan. Kerrigan trying to get to the outside, and he's not going to make it. But there is a flag down. And where that flag came down, that could go either way. Could be a face mask or a hold. Although Placer is backing up like it's a hold. And that is the call.
And boy, that's a buzzkill. You don't need a 15-yard hold here. 10-yard hold to start your offensive sequence after such a good start.
Well, that run went nowhere. There were 3 Hawks that prevented Kerrigan from getting to the edge. And if you have defensive backs that can keep up with Anthony Kerrigan, your defense is looking pretty good.
So we'll still have first down, but it'll be first down on a mile.
There's another pass from Stuck. Stuck hit as he throws and in and out of the hands of Carter Benz, incomplete.
Pretty easy pitch and catch. Benz, though, just had it glance off of his hands. A little hard. Stuck could have given him a little easier pass to catch.
That was a tough one to gauge, as there was a lot of pressure up the middle from Liberty Ranch. And it looks like they're going to bring pressure again. Time a late handoff to Kerrigan, and Kerrigan's got some room. Great blocking by Salatic, down to the 10 and in for a touchdown.
So look who we found. Kerrigan, Anthony Kerrigan, with the cute little stutter step at the end to juke him out. Everybody was thinking he was going this way, but he went that way. Nicely done.
And big credit to the offensive line for holding off the rush long enough for that play to develop. And number 53, Trevor Salatic, 5'11", 200, with a huge upfield block that opened up the left side of the field. Point after is up and good. So the Placer Hillmen, after a big penalty, come back in a big way. They lead 7-0 on their opening possession right here on your 20th anniversary season of the NorCal Game of the Week at touchdownproductions.com.
It's time to gear up for the holidays with BNC True Value Home and Garden Center. That's right, the holidays are just a few weeks away, and BNC makes it easy with page after page of holiday savings on Christmas lights, extension cords, stocking stuffers, and more. It's all at BNC True Value Home and Garden Center, where every project is a true value.
Okay, so let's watch Anthony Kerrigan, the junior, as he scores this touchdown, and this is a thing of beauty. Watch him as he gets around the corner, down the field, and now watch him with the little stutter step right there. Pretty watching him get in the end zone. Needed a little burst of speed as he got to the corner. But so far we've seen him with a catch and a touchdown now. Kerrigan having a big game.
Yeah, 5'7", 155, not exactly football numbers, but he has excellent speed and excellent hands.
He's a junior.
Kind of a short line drive kick. That's going to be caught at the 24-yard line. And about a 9-yard return. So Liberty Ranch takes over at about the same position that they started their last possession. So Placer, who forced Liberty Ranch into a 3-and-out to start, will look to repeat.
Not much success their last offensive series.
Delayed handoff to Jones. Jones on the left side. He's going to be dragged down for a short gain of about 2. That was an almost identical play to the Placer touchdown play, just mirrored. And Placer did a much better job of covering.
Well, Liberty Ranch needs to find some offense. It's going to be a long night. Inside handoff.
Very inside. That was inside a pack of basically both lines. And that may have even gone backwards half a yard.
I believe it did. I don't have the official stats, but they have now run 5 plays, and I don't think they have a positive number going.
I believe it's positive by
Maybe
half a yard
yard.
now. That was Peterson at the bottom of that pile. There's a quarterback keeper. That was a designed run play, sniffed out by Placer. I believe that was Guillermo Morfin in on the tackle.
So much for their positive numbers.
Well, there that
went
goes.
Backwards, yep. So it'll be 4th down now, and they will have to punt the football in again. Looks like Hugh Hansen will be back to receive the punt.
And Hansen on one side, Brandon Pillow on the other. That is a nicer looking punt anyway. That will roll out of bounds at about the 35-yard line of Placer, which is a little bit deeper than their last opening possession.
So the Hillmen with 7 points on the board. They probably won't try anything much different. I mean, let's face it, they had all of the room in the world when Kerrigan went around the left side. Bringing in the play now, Michael Stuck talking to his coach, Joey Montoya.
And there appears to be some confusion on the Placer sideline. Yeah, there's a player short. In comes Leland Addison. And Placer might get hit with the delay game if this keeps up. They're getting very close.
I'm wondering that everybody looks like they're still wondering what the play is.
And there is the timeout taken by Placer just before the flag can get thrown by the back referee. So Placer will figure out exactly what play Coach Montoya wanted. But they do lead 7-0 in the opening round of the Sac Joaquin Section Playoffs on the 28th anniversary season of the NorCal Game of the Week at touchdownproductions.com.
The Dive is the newest family-friendly restaurant in Lake of the Pines. Their entire menu of burgers, salads, and sandwiches are available for dining in or to take home. Featuring a selection of beer and wines, they also offer catering services for your next event with their new food truck, Dive on the Go. It's The Dive in Lake of the Pines on Comby Road and dineatthedive.com.
Back at Placer High School, the Hillmen lead the Liberty Ranch Hawks 7-0 about halfway through this opening quarter. And Placer about to start their second drive of the game from their own 38-yard line. There's a little bit of confusion on what play exactly was called. And it's going to be another rolling play for Stuck. Stuck gets rid of it, throws, and complete to Hugh Hansen. Hansen breaks a tackle, dives forward for a few more yards, and that is another Placer first down.
Great little toss by Stuck, too. Really didn't have time to do much else. He got the ball out semi-sidearm. Hansen has been a wonderful receiver for him all season, though, hasn't he, those two?
Always nice to have a tight end with good hands.
Yeah, a big old tall guy like that.
6'3", 205. Racks up a few yards after the catch, too. That's always nice. So first down in Liberty Ranch territory. Handoff to Perez. Perez dragged down after a couple yards. And Kerrigan, who usually gets his name called on those really long runs, somewhat surprising that Perez has more than twice the total touchdowns that Kerrigan has. Kerrigan gets him close, and Perez bulldozes his way in.
More confusion on the sidelines. I think the coach is going to have to take a timeout. They're having personnel problems.
Well, this time Placer gets to the line pretty quick, and they get the play off. It's a reverse up the middle.
He's gone.
Yeah, that's down to the 20, to the 10. Stiff arm, and he's dragged down hard at the 5-yard line. That was Devin Tosty. And a big pickup.
Tosty came right through the line. Great deception by the Placer Hillmen on the inside handoff.
Yeah, Kerrigan got it and gave it right up to Tosty.
Like I was saying, Liberty Ranch probably hasn't had a taste of the wing T. I don't know that any of the teams that they play in their league run it. And it can be tough to figure out.
It's very unusual offense.
Very unusual and very deceptive. But Tosty went right up the line, right up the middle, basically, and had a lot of room to maneuver.
There's first and goal. To the right, that's Rain Robinson, and Robinson is slammed down 1.5 yards short. And we'll make it second and goal at about the 2. Placer yet to run a play for negative yards, or even for 0 yards. Single back. It's Perez. Perez is in. Touchdown number 2 for the Hillmen.
Gets almost a no-touch crossing the line. So Perez showing off the touchdown abilities.
As he's done all year.
He has. That was kind of a gift, though. You got to hand it to him. Just a quick over guard play.
High snap for the extra point, but it's brought down, and the kick is up and good by Van Dyke. So with 5:30 left in the first quarter, Placer extends their lead 14-0 over the Liberty Ranch Hawks on the 20th anniversary season of the NorCal Game of the Week at touchdownproductions.com.
The Northridge Restaurant in Nevada City is your closest Northridge to Grass Valley. At 737 Nevada Street, the Northridge in Nevada City is a comfortable family restaurant you'll be happy to go to. Make reservations or take out.
With 3 locations to serve you in Nevada City, Lake of the Pines, and Penn Valley, you are just a few minutes away from a Northridge restaurant. Visit us online at northridgerestaurant.com.
And let's give credit where credit's due here. We'll run a replay of the Toski touchdown. As you can see, it's an inside handoff and on reverse. Not a lot of touches there as he goes through the line. And then it's pretty much all speed. And once he gets hit, he drags those tacklers for a second. I thought he might even get in there just by pushing the pile in.
Yeah, just missed the stiff arm at about the 10-yard line. That may have done it if he had connected.
So Placer is looking good, as they say, with 5:34 left in the first quarter, up by 14.
Line drive, kind of a knuckleball kick. That's going to be caught at the 17-yard line and brought down at the 30.
That was Mason Peterson.
So 3 possessions all start within 7 yards of each other. That's a testament to Placer's special teams getting down the field on those kickoffs. And Liberty Ranch on their 3rd possession still looking for a first down. This time handoff to Cochran. Cochran tries to get to the outside, and he's got room. He's going to be dragged and pushed out of bounds, and depending on where referees say he eventually stepped, this will either be an easy first down or a 3rd and short. And it looks like it's going to be...
There's a flag on the play, Steve. I'm not sure what's
going
on. It's a hold.
Well, that would explain where the hole came from on the left side.
Well, Coach Anthony Limbaugh for Liberty Ranch got to be a few less hairs on his head because he's pulled them out. First time he's had a decent play all night, and it comes back with a negative 5 yards.
Actually, where that hold was, it really will be about negative 5. There's a split formation. Man in motion, handed off to Jones. Jones gets to the right side, cuts back, and there's another big hole.
This guy's got speed.
He's out to midfield to the 40, the 30, one man to beat. And he is pushed out of bounds, finally inside the red zone. But not after a huge gain for Liberty Ranch. Their first down of the game.
And it's a brilliant one at that. Jones getting around the outside to the right, finding just a little bit of room, and then just showing off some spectacular speed. Little straight arm as he goes down. They're in business.
And they're on the Placer 16-yard line. Similar formation. And it's another handoff to Jones. Jones tries to fall up the middle, and that's all he'll do. He'll pick up about 2 yards.
Jones up the middle to the 14-yard line. They're probably going to try that outside again if they find some room out there. They really haven't had much success up the middle so far tonight.
And, I just took a look at the numbers on Mason Peterson, number 22, who is their second leading rusher. He is 5'3".
Wow.
That is hard to tackle. He is wide right on this play. Jones man in motion. And it's going to be another keeper by Van Houten. Van Houten is dragged down for no gain. Another 3rd down for the Hawks.
In there on the tackle, number 25, Kavongo Scott, we called his name a lot this year, Steve.
He's going to be sorely missed, that's for sure.
That's fact. He's a senior.
The 3rd and 8 on the Placer 14-yard line. And that's going to be a false start on Liberty Ranch.
So they'll make it 3rd and 13 now.
And that was, I believe, Ian Frazier who jumped on the right side. Not sure if he was trying to get a jump on his block or if that was just a false start. That makes it 3rd and 13. Another split formation. Mason Peterson, the lone back. And it's going to be a pass. Going for the end zone, picks a spot, and it is caught.
What a beautiful, beautiful catch and throw.
Touchdown Liberty Ranch. Devin Hardaway with the touchdown reception.
And Hardaway did the work of hauling the ball in. That ball was put on the number, right in the back of the end zone. A perfect pass by Rick Van Houten. My goodness, Steve, you don't see him any better than that in high school football.
No, he just threw that to a spot right at the corner of the end zone, and it was up to Hardaway to run underneath it, which he did flawlessly. Extra point attempt is up and good. And just like that, we've got ourselves a football game. Just like in Lincoln, Placer goes up 14-0 and then gives up the next touchdown. They lead 14-7 with 3:48 left in the first quarter. Here on the 20th anniversary season of the NorCal Game of the Week at touchdownproductions.com.
Thank you, Doug. Saving the whole rodeo.
Back at Placer High School, 14-7 is the score with the Hillmen leading the Liberty Ranch Hawks. Hawks just scored on an excellent pass from Van Houten to Devin Hardaway, and they are all set to kick off. I can't say I've ever seen that formation on the kickoff, but there it is, up and away. It's going to be taken by Kerrigan out of the hands of Cooper Wilkins. And a nice big hole on the left side. Kerrigan spins, and he is going to be thrown out of bounds in Liberty Ranch territory.
Anthony Kerrigan's had a big game so far, and he wants to continue that. Picks the ball right out of the hands of his own player, but it worked out well for the Placer Hillmen. Nice return. They're going to start from about their own 47.
That's Liberty Ranch 47.
I beg your pardon. You're right, Steve. That's Liberty Ranch's 47.
Well, best field position of the night for Placer. They've scored touchdowns on their previous 2 possessions. And we are going to have a flag come in. And this came in from the back referee.
Let me make a point here that I made the same point last week when Placer got up by a couple of touchdowns early on the Lincoln Zebras. They have a tendency to sit on a lead. This team needs to get out here now, and they need to score a touchdown.
Well, that was an excellent pass. It was well defended, but it was put in just the right spot.
And that was an excellent run, no doubt.
And off to Kerrigan, left side. Stiff arm pushed out of bounds after a pickup of about 2. Jack Lopez in on the stop there. Lopez is a 6'4", 195 senior defensive end. And just taking a look at the Liberty Ranch roster, a lot of their linemen and tackles are seniors. So they're going to have a lot of growing up to do next year.
They're not small either.
Here's 2nd and 13. Inside handoff to Rainer Robinson, and he's going to get about 8 on the run before being dragged down by about 4 Hawks. That'll make it 3rd and about 5.
Down to the last 3 minutes of the quarter. 3rd down and 5.
Well, Placer, this is their first 3rd down that they've seen tonight. Stuck a little slow to the line. Fake to Rain Robinson out to Kerrigan on the left side. Has some running room. He's going to get the 1st down and a little bit more as he hurdles out of bounds inside the Liberty Ranch 30.
Wow, Kerrigan getting a lot of carries tonight, Steve. We haven't seen that really. Mario Perez typically has been the workhorse for the Placer Hillmen, but they certainly have found themselves a jewel in Kerrigan. Another nice move at the end of that run. Did you see that?
Oh, yeah. Left out of bounds, got a couple extra yards at the tail end of the play. Another reverse up the middle. This time it's, I believe, Tosti again. He is going to spin inside the 20, very close to the 1st down. And that was Tosti on the carry. That reverse is 2 for 2.
You know, that reverse is the responsibility of the outside linebacker as a rule. And if the linebacker takes that first fake and follows that fake out, it leaves the middle wide open.
Bring up 2nd at about a half. Referee's a little bit slow to spot the ball. Placer has 2 wide on the far side. And handoff to Rain Robinson. Rain Robinson, right side, breaks a tackle and gets slammed down at about the 12-yard line. Another 1st down for the Hillmen.
So the Hillmen now back in 4-down territory, trying to get back the score they just gave up as the first quarter runs down inside the 2 minutes.
First down play. Late handoff. And that's Tosti, and Tosti will walk into the end zone. Touchdown, Placer.
Very deceptive play, well run and disguised. You handle a lot of that to Michael Stuke. Michael Stuke is now, as a senior or as a sophomore, really gotten the knack of disguising his ball in his handoff.
And that's not easy to do, especially because you have your back to the line for a majority of these plays. You don't know what's coming at you.
But he sells that fake so well that that's what creates the hole.
Extra point is good. Placer, 3 possessions and 3 touchdowns. They lead 21-7 here in the first round of the Sac Joaquin section playoffs on the 20th anniversary season of the NorCal Game of the Week at touchdownproductions.com. Back at Placer High School, Hillmen all set to kick off. They lead 21-7. There's a nice long kick from Blake Van Dyke. That'll be caught at the 3-yard line. A lot of running room, and this will be taken out to about the 25-yard line by Selwyn Jones. So the deepest starting field position for the Hawks. They'll have to go about 75 yards. Minute 30 left in the first quarter. Late handoff to Jones. Jones is dragged down after a gain of about 4. Actually, they'll give him about 6 on that spot.
Camille Jones plays. He is a senior. He plays cornerback as well as running back.
Down to about the minute mark. 2nd and 4 for the Hawks. Their offense has picked up lately. Screen pass complete to Frazier, and Frazier dragged down for a loss.
Good idea. Probably would have worked if the ball had gotten there a little sooner. A little too much air under that one. It would have been nicer if Frazier had been in a little closer.
I am inclined to agree. On the snap, it looked like there was a little bit of a delay on the pass from Van Houten.
Like he wanted to do a fake in the line or something. 3rd down and 5.
Another 3rd down for the Hawks. Give it to Jones. Jones dragged down. I believe that was Trevor Solotic again. Another loss.
And in there, number 55, Logan Moore, another senior. And Logan doesn't get enough credit. Logan, if you're listening to this broadcast, everybody here knows the work you do inside there as a defensive guard. You have been a rock.
Well, the 3rd punt for the Hawks. We'll have to wait until the 2nd quarter as the first has just expired. 21-7. In the 1st quarter, Placer leads the Liberty Ranch Hawks, and we will come back with the Hawks punt here on the 20th anniversary season of the NorCal Game of the Week at touchdownproductions.com.
Your car is one of the most important assets you own. And Reeby's Auto Parts is dedicated to helping you keep it in tip-top condition. Reeby's Auto Parts is a family-owned and operated business since 1956. We have a friendly and knowledgeable staff, and as a Napa Auto Parts dealer, you're sure to find the right part you need from either of our 2 Nevada County locations. You can always count on Reeby's to be there when you need us. It's Reeby's Auto Parts in Nevada City and Grass Valley.
2nd quarter underway at Placer High School. The Hawks back to punt for the 3rd time tonight, and this might be the best punt. Takes a Placer bounce, and it's going to be picked up by Hugh Hansen. Hansen breaks a tackle and gets up to midfield.
Now, I saw him call for a fair catch. I guess that doesn't count if he doesn't catch the ball, huh?
Exactly.
They're discussing it now. I saw the official with a marker.
No, they are going to.
Yeah, I think if he calls, he put his hand up over his head and waved, and so consequently that calls for a fair catch. That means that they're not going to advance the ball. So let's see. They would take it from where the player fielded the ball. That would be where they would down it.
One would imagine.
And I've got a big imagination. You know that, Steve. They're going to penalize him for it.
Interesting.
At the 35-yard line, then we have a delay of game on the offense. 5 yards, first down.
I believe that's exactly what that is. That is a delay of game penalty for returning a kick you said you weren't going to return. So Placer will start on their own 30, their worst field position of the game. Here's Stuck, rolling out. He's chased, and he has to throw it away. And there's the intentional grounding.
No doubt about it. Had he thrown it the other direction, he might have gotten away with it, but there was nobody over there.
Nico Cuevas was in on the pressure, along with Jarlath Tupito Ma'ai, who was their leading lineman.
Well said, Steve.
So intentional grounding will back him up. That will back him up a long way. So that is a spot foul, will be half the distance. So they will have it. So from 1st and 10 on their own 30, it will be 1st and 32 on their own 8.
Second down and 33.
So let's see.
Excuse me, 2nd and 33.
Let's see if they crank up.
Well, Liberty Ranch is showing a lot of pressure. There's a late handoff that goes nowhere. Maybe got back to the line of scrimmage. That was Perez. So here is 3rd and forever.
Well, Placer has some long pass plays in their bag, but I don't think Coach Joey Montoya is going to go for the long bomb to get him out of jail. He'll do the best he can, get him in a position to punt the ball away.
Yeah, at the very least, get their punter off of the out of bounds line.
Yeah.
Give him a little bit of room.
I'd look for Kerrigan around the left side.
Well, Kerrigan is wide left. And there's going to be a delay of game. So that will end up being a 4-yard penalty for Placer. Interesting penalties, an 8-yard penalty with a loss of down and a 4-yard penalty on a false start. So 3rd and 32 becomes 3rd and 36.
Not the best series they've had this game so far.
And that's what intentional grounding from 20 yards in the backfield will do. Stuck directing traffic. And there's the very late handoff. That's Kerrigan. Kerrigan will stutter step. There comes a flag from all the way in midfield. Kerrigan ended up getting about 4 yards on that run.
This was a hold, and it was a hold, I believe, on number 74. I'm not going to call his number until we hear it. It is on Placer.
It's on Placer, but it's declined. Which honestly is probably a good call from Liberty Ranch. That will force Placer to punt deep and not give them a chance to pull a rabbit out of their hat. Here's the first punt of the game for Placer. From about medium depth. It's Josh Jacoby. Good snap. And a pretty nice kick. That will get out to about the 46-yard line where it is fair caught by Chandler Garcia. And here is the best field position for Liberty Ranch of the night.
So Placer finding no room to do nothing that series of plays. Did burn about 4 minutes off the clock. Liberty Ranch now has a chance to make up some of the ground, being down 21-7.
And this is their best starting field position by about 30 yards. Couple of fake screen pass, batted out of the air.
Nice play
by Guillermo Morfin.
Guillermo Morfin. We haven't called his number much this year, but
we have tonight.
We sure have tonight. He's middle lineman. Got right in the face of Houghton and knocked that ball down. Nicely done.
That was designed to let Morfin in the backfield, but that pass has to get around him. Here's 2nd and 10, still 10:30 left in the first half. Handoff to Jones on the right side, and Jones cuts back inside. Brought down very close to the first down.
That displayed some of his speed there. He made a nice move to the inside, looked for his block, and then once he turned his shoulders upfield, nice little burst of speed.
And he will be about a yard short, maybe half a yard short of the first down. Bringing up the first 3rd and short of the game for Liberty Ranch. They're 1 for 4 on 3rd down conversions tonight. Jones in motion. Jones with the handoff. Jones tries to dive forward, and I think he just got it.
Yeah, they're going to give him the first. So they'll move the sticks on that.
Good field awareness by Jones, knowing he only needed to dive forward and not trying to make a huge play out of nothing. A new set of downs for the Hawks. On the Placer 35-yard line. There's the pass from Van Houten across the middle, caught by Ian Frazier, and Frazier is hit hard at the 24-yard line.
Boy, that was a nice, accurate pass and catch, though, Steve.
Yeah, that was tough coverage on the right side, too. Placer was playing.
They were bearing down on him.
Yeah, they were playing tight man coverage on that right side. Good job to hold on to it by Frazier, too. He got leveled. Pitch to Jones. Jones cuts back up the middle again. He's nicely brought down by Kabongo Scott. About a 4-yard gain for the Hawks.
Jones had a lot of opportunity that play. I'll bet they come back to that play again. That quick pitch out to the left. He had a lot of open field there. He just needed to break Scott's tackle.
Well, Scott with a textbook tackle. Head up, arms wrapped around. Jones the lone back. And it is a handoff to Jones. Jones gets to the right side, and he is... Actually, I was way off. That ball was nowhere near Jones.
No, actually, and I followed Jones as well. No, it went up the middle.
Well, nothing happened on the play anyway, just a 2-yard gain. Still brings up third down.
Third down and 3.
Notice a couple of Hillmen were still going after Jones when the play was whistled down, so about half the stands fooled. There's 3rd and 3. Van Houten across to Jones, and that is incomplete. Jones slipped as he tried to catch it. Even if he had held on, he would not have gotten the first down.
4-down territory, though, unless Liberty Ranch has a kicker. It's certainly within field goal range of most high school kickers.
Well, they got 2 field goals last week against Galt.
Not sure why they wouldn't try that now. No, they're going to go over the ball. They're going to try and get the 3 yards. This may be a hard count. Nope.
Up to Jones. And Jones is wrapped up in the backfield. Loss of 4, turnover on downs. Placer will take over inside their own 20, but they will take over.
Big applause here on the sideline at Placer. So the Hillmen have new life in the football with 8 minutes left in the second quarter. Almost any kind of offensive effort will be better than their last series.
And a very late inside handoff to Devin Tosti. Tosti will somehow get 5 yards out of that. There's not a whole lot of room to run over there.
Really wasn't. Tosti lucky to get what he got.
Last week against Lincoln, Placer averaged over 7.5 yards per carry. There's Perez, and Perez is wrestled down after a very short gain.
Good tackle in there by number 51 for
Jarlath Tupito Ma'ai.
I'm so glad I let you say that.
I had a chance to practice. He's their leading sacker. So here's 3rd and 4. Rain Robinson upended.
Boy, this is going to be a close one, too. I don't think he got it by maybe a yard. And let's just see what Joey Montoya decides to do here. No, they're going to give him the first down.
Wow.
They moved the sticks with that. Generous spot, in my estimation.
I'm inclined to agree with you, Paul. I thought he was brought down a couple yards short. Sometimes you get the spot, sometimes you don't. And we will have a referee timeout. Looks like an equipment issue. Tupito Ma'ai will leave the field. So there's an opportunity for Placer. Big number 51 is 6'2", 250. First down play. Throwing deep. Double coverage and caught. Hugh Hansen. Big catch.
Good heads-up play by Hansen.
Wow.
That time, threw it into double coverage. Hansen turned around, found the football, and stopped, using his height going up to catch it. Probably not a well-advised pass that time. Michael Stuke kind of got lucky with Hansen being there and being so tall.
Yeah, it's very nice. He's the tallest receiver on the team. In fact, he's the tallest player on the team. Perez up the middle, and he is going to be eventually wrestled down after the initial contact by Gabe Becerra. Somehow managed to get 5 yards out of that.
You know, we've seen Perez do just that, keep his legs moving during the season. And if he can break that tackle, he is off to the races.
And Becerra really got solid contact. Just not quite enough to drag Perez down. Here's 2nd and 7. Sweeping handoff to Kerrigan. Kerrigan's going to have to wait for a block, but still nice tackle made by Selwyn Jones. And that will actually still be a first down for Placer. Jones just could not quite get the angle in time to prevent a new set of downs for the Hillmen. 5:30 left in the second quarter. Placer will get the opening kickoff in the second half. So far, besides the one series deep in their own territory, the Placer offense has been excellent. Rain Robinson tripped up at the line for a gain of 1.
Good tackle in there. That was number 55 for Liberty Ranch. Nico.
I believe that's Cuevas.
I believe you're right.
Good, I didn't want to have to fight you.
Listen, and I'm glad you said it first.
2nd and 8. Late handoff to Tosti, and Tosti is dragged down by a couple Hawks. Maybe picked up 1 yard, and that'll bring up 3rd and long.
At the 35-yard line. Tackle made by Becerra.
And Gabe Becerra in on that tackle as well. As Liberty Ranch defense, they're getting worn down, but they have very consistent linebackers. There's a late handoff to Kerrigan on the right side, and Kerrigan's got some room. Gets to the edge, tripped up finally by Jones, but another first down pickup by the Hillmen.
Morgan, Anthony Kerrigan, good gravy. Where have you been, young man? He is having a big-time game tonight. Seems like every time he gets the ball in his hands, he's got open space.
And a lot of credit to the offensive line of the Hillmen. These plays take a while to develop. If there's any sort of penetration, they can fall apart in a hurry. There's Stuck looking left. Throws across and caught by Carter Benz. And Benz has a first down for the Hillmen.
Hillmen on the move again. Marching right down the field after that debacle they had in their last series. Showing it with the run and the pass now.
And now we have more whistles. Liberty Ranch is going to take a timeout. I believe that is their first of the half. So with Placer in the red zone, we will step aside. You're watching the first round of the Sac Joaquin section playoffs on the 20th anniversary season of the NorCal Game of the Week at touchdownproductions.com.
With nearly 30 years of proudly serving our community, Auburn Toyota is expanding to offer more new Toyota inventory than ever before. Chances are we have the exact Toyota model you want, ready for you to drive home today. With many years of combined sales experience and hundreds of new Toyota cars, trucks, 4x4s, and SUVs, now is the perfect time to buy at Auburn Toyota. Come see why for generations Foothill Toyota buyers buy from Auburn Toyota, which is why we like to say Auburn Toyota is the place where the customers come back.
Back at Placer High School, the Hillmen inside the Liberty Ranch red zone. They lead 21-7 with just over 4 minutes left in the first half. There's a handoff to Rain Robinson, and Rain Robinson is stopped for a gain of maybe 1. And Rain Robinson, who we saw run very effectively against Lincoln and against Bear River, has really been held to very short gains tonight. Here's 2nd and 9. There's about 1 yard between the first down line and the end zone, so it's conceivable they could get a first and goal. There's Stuck looking for the corner. That's caught. Very close, and he's in. Carter Benz with the stretch at the end of the tackle.
And you'll take one out of the NFL playbook on that one. Benz knew he had to get it out there, stretch it out before the knees touch the ground. I think that one would be reviewed if it was NFL, but they're going to give it to him here.
And Selwyn Jones is having a rough night. He's making the tackles, but Placer's getting the yards.
We're going to send that one to New York and let Gil Dominguez run it back and tell us if it was truly a touchdown. And he's shaking his head. Yes, it was in.
So with the extra point good, 28-7 is the score with 3:30 remaining in the second quarter on the 20th anniversary season of the NorCal Game of the Week at touchdownproductions.com.
Hey, hon, remember the guys are coming over later to watch the game.
Make a play for winning trays from Portisupps. We have the perfect tray for every game and every fan. So use your app or order online today.
Make Portisupps your destination.
Back at Placer High School, let's take a look at Placer's fourth touchdown of the night.
So did Benz get in there or not? There's the pass. Little move. Stretching it in. Was his knee down? I'm thinking it was not. I think that is legitimately a touchdown. And a nice play by Benz.
Selwyn Jones did all he could on that tackle. But Benz at 6'2", just had the reach on him. Well, the Placer kickoff, it'll be another short kick. So it'll be caught at the 25-yard line by Brandon Pello, and Pello will only get about 3 yards on the return.
So let's see if Liberty Ranch can get something on the board before half. 3:24 on the clock currently.
They managed to get deep on their last possession, and they scored a couple possessions ago, but that one scoring drive seems like the anomaly. This is their worst starting field position of the quarter anyway. On their own 29-yard line. 4 wide, single back. Jones in motion. Hand off to Jones. Jones tries to cut up the middle, and he's going to be dragged down by Guillermo Morfin. Well, I'll tell you what, the Placer offense is having a great game. Morfin's trying to make a name for himself. He's trying to get that Player of the Game award, I think.
And he's doing a good job of it, isn't he? His name's being called constantly.
That was a tackle for no gain. Bring up 2nd and 10. Still 4 wide. There's the pass, another screen. Caught, nice block. Shakes the tackle, still up and very close to the first down. That was Jack Lopez on the catch.
A nice catch by Lopez, but an excellent pass out there. Houghton has a nice arm. Flat throw, got it out there in a hurry, gave him a chance to get some yardage after the catch.
That was a much nicer screen than their last attempt. And here's 3rd and 2. Hand off to Jones. Jones tries to cut back up the middle, and he's going to be, I believe, a yard short.
I think Jones should have continued out and strung that play out there a bit. Looks like there's no hesitation. They're going to go for it on 3rd down.
Placer's going to take a timeout, it looks like.
On 4th down, I beg your pardon. Placer's coming off the field.
Yeah, Placer's taking a timeout, which I believe is their second of the half. So 2:05 left.
You know, Joey Montoya may be giving the other coach a chance to rethink his idea of going for it on 4th down, and now I'm seeing the kicking unit come out on the field. He's going to, with 2:05 left, he's going to try and kick the ball away and hold and go into the locker room down 28-7.
Yeah, this would be a very bad spot for a fake, too, because if this fake doesn't work, Placer's going to get even better field position. Hugh Hansen's back to receive. And the kick almost blocked, and this one will spiral down, this time take a Liberty Ranch bounce, a Liberty Ranch roll, and this will finally come to rest on the Placer 24-yard line.
Placer's been moving the ball. We'll see when we come back if they can put more points on the scoreboard. 28-7 with 1:56 left.
Placer has possession with 1:53 left in the half. First down deep in their own territory, and that run is sniffed out but kept alive by Mario Perez. He did well just to get back to the initial line of scrimmage. The clock continues to roll downward. Second and 9. They'll actually give him the better part of a yard on that play. They get out to their own 25-yard line. Placer in no hurry. I think they are just going to head into the locker room barring a huge play with a 3-possession lead. There's a late handoff to Kerrigan on the right side, and Kerrigan's got room again. Cuts back up to the 40, brought down, but another Placer first down. This will stop the clock momentarily at 1:07. And suddenly Placer might be eyeing some points before halftime.
Well, they're moving the change, which stops the clock. There they wind it finally. Kerrigan picking up great big chunks of yardage. I don't know why they wouldn't go back to that same play.
That's going to be a pass play now. Stuck, pulls up, and that's picked off. Picked off, he's still up. Kerrigan's got him tied up. Finally, they whistle the play down. Wow.
That was almost comical. Kerrigan got him by the jersey.
Kerrigan wrapped him up and decided, you know what, this is going to be whistled dead. There's really no point in me trying to hurt the guy.
But, you know, Kerrigan just nonchalantly hanging on to him. I don't know if he'd gotten away from him. I think if I was the man that intercepted the ball, I'd given him a nice, brisk, straight arm to the face mask.
As Ethan Torres on the interception. Just not a very good pass from Michael Stuck.
Shows you how strong Kerrigan must be.
Well, Liberty Ranch has it on their 34. There's less than a minute left. I'm actually a little bit surprised they're not just going to take a knee here, head into half. It's going to be a reverse to Garcia on the right side. Garcia is going to streak down the sidelines. He's going to get into Placer territory before he's run out of bounds. How about that from the Hawks?
Placer can't let down their guard here. They don't want to give up another touchdown before the half at 37 seconds left. And that's exactly what the Liberty Hawks are thinking.
37 seconds. They've got a kicker. Really, they only need to get about 30 yards for some points. There's another reverse.
Same play.
It's going to be Frazier, and Frazier's going to dive back for no gain on the play. Liberty Ranch has 2 timeouts, and they're going to take one. So down to 27 seconds. Liberty Ranch threatening late in the second quarter, and we will step aside. This is the first round of the CIF Sac Joaquin Section Football Playoffs here on the 20th anniversary season of the NorCal Game of the Week at touchdownproductions.com.
It's time to gear up for the holidays with BNC True Value Home and Garden Center. That's right, the holidays are just a few weeks away, and BNC makes it easy with page after page of holiday savings on Christmas lights, extension cords, stocking stuffers, and more. It's all at BNC True Value Home and Garden Center, where every project is a true value.
Welcome back to Placer High School. 28-7 is the score with 27 seconds left in the second quarter. Just a reminder, join us next week. If Placer can hang on, they will host Center. This will be the second time these teams have met. First time was decided by a single point. Who knows what will happen in the postseason, but that will be brought to you right here at touchdownproductions.com. Here's 2nd and 10 for Liberty Ranch. There's another reverse to Pello. Pello's going to throw it, and it is complete.
No, he's going to say dropped it.
No, it is incomplete. Chandler Garcia tried to slide and make an excellent catch at the 20, but he could not hang on to it. Another risky pass into double coverage.
Great play call by Anthony Linebaugh, the coach. He does a reverse and then another reverse and then a reverse pass.
19 seconds now. Here's 3rd and long. Almost a bootleg. Pass is, I believe this one will be caught to Ian Frazier. 14 seconds. And Liberty Ranch switched to a West Coast style offense. And they might be a play away from getting in field goal range.
They do have one timeout left.
14 seconds. Realistically, I think they would only need about 7 yards. Only one wide now for the Hawks. There's the throw. Complete and run out of bounds. This time it was Mason Peterson.
Well,
and Peterson got about 6 yards.
There's your 7 yards, Steve. Yeah, let's see if they decide they're going to put someone on the field and put the foot to it.
With 9 seconds.
Either they throw it into the end zone or they put something down on the field and try to kick it through. We'll see.
Well, they still have a timeout, remember. So they could just try for maybe 4 or 5 more yards, take the timeout, and get the field goal. They do not have to try if they want to get their kicker some work. 4 wide, lone back. And it looks like they're going to pass. It's flushed out. Goes deep, and that's going to be nowhere in the vicinity of anyone. I guess conceivably Camille Jones was close, and that will wind it down to 2 seconds, and here comes the field goal unit.
Why not? 2 seconds left. Take a shot at it.
This will be very close to 50 yards. This will be a 47-yard field goal attempt. And it is Devin Hardaway who is in to attempt it. 47 yards. There's no one back for Placer.
No wind tonight.
And here's the kick. It's up. And it is
no good.
No good. Pulled wide left. And that is the end of the first half. Placer's offense scored on 3 straight possessions and then scored a little bit later in the second quarter. They lead the Liberty Ranch Hawks 28-7. And with halftime upon us, we will step aside. You're watching exclusive coverage of Placer Hillmen postseason football right here on the 20th anniversary season of the NorCal Game of the Week at touchdownproductions.com.
The Dive is the newest family-friendly restaurant in Lake of the Pines. Their entire menu of burgers, salads, and sandwiches are available for dining in or to take home. Featuring a selection of beer and wines, they also offer catering services for your next event with their new food truck, Dive on the Go. It's The Dive in Lake of the Pines on Comby Road and dineatthedive.com.
Back at LeFebvre Stadium on the campus of Placer High School, just about ready to start the second half. Placer leads the Liberty Ranch Hawks 28-7, and Placer won the coin toss pre-game and decided to defer, so they will receive the opening kickoff of the second half. Some notable numbers. Liberty Ranch was 3 for 8 on third down conversions. Placer was 3 for 4. The only time they didn't convert was on, I believe, 3rd and 36. So that's understandable. Here's that strange Liberty Ranch kickoff. See what they do, and this time they kick a high one that will bounce and roll out of bounds. So Liberty Ranch will get dinged for delay of game, and I have to imagine Placer would just take it on their own 35.
So we'll see if the Hillmen can come back with another score here. I think one more would just about put it away, Steve. Opening of the second half. Clearly, so far, we've seen Anthony Kerrigan running the show from the backfield. Hugh Hansen has had a couple of nice catches.
Tosti a few good runs, too.
Tosti's had some good runs, and we've seen some good defense. So an overall upper top 10 game for the Hillmen so far.
First play is a sweeping handoff to Kerrigan. Look at all that room he has on the right side. He's going to try and cut back, and he will get out to about midfield before being dragged down by Chandler Garcia. very close to the first down line, and he's got it. And boy, those blocks getting to the second level pretty much all night on those sweeping handoffs.
Now they're going to put Kerrigan in the slot.
There's a handoff to Perez, and Perez finds a hole up the middle. He will run his way upfield into Liberty Ranch territory, gain of about 6.
Placer's a tough place for a new team like the Hawks to come into and be successful. This is a demanding stadium.
Still a pretty good showing from the Liberty Ranch crowd.
No doubt.
Got the stands about 3/4 full. There's an inside handoff to Perez, and Perez has a first down. Perez was kept pretty quiet in the first half, and now he is on fire, and that is pretty true to Placer's game plan. Run Kerrigan in the first half and Perez in the second half. They have very similar numbers with the exception of total touchdowns. They both average right around 100 yards per game. And there's Rain Robinson up the middle, and he will be stopped just short of the 30-yard line. Brings up 2nd and 3.
So 2nd down now. Placer just continues to roll. No evidence of any defense on the field for the Hawks. They need to toughen up here.
Here's 2nd and 4. Stuck, looking, throws, and that is a diving catch.
Did he hold on to that?
Oh, it looks like Benz held on to it for another first down. I think the initial signal from the closest referee was incomplete, and then he changed his mind. So Benz gets another first down for the Hillmen as they are on the Liberty Ranch 25-yard line. And we have a quick whistle here.
Delay of game?
No, Liberty Ranch takes a timeout. Less than 2 minutes into the second half, the Hawks take their first time out.
It's like they didn't get warmed up when they came out for the second half, Steve. They're just they're slow and complacent. They're just not doing anything on defense at all.
Not much to be complacent about. Down 28-7. Less than 2 minutes into the second half. You're watching exclusive coverage of Placer Hillmen football right here on the 20th anniversary season of the NorCal Game of the Week at touchdownproductions.com.
The Northridge Restaurant in Nevada City is your closest Northridge to Grass Valley. At 737 Nevada Street, the Northridge in Nevada City is a comfortable family restaurant you'll be happy to go to. Make reservations or take out.
With 3 locations to serve you in Nevada City, Lake of the Pines, and Penn Valley, you are just a few minutes away from a Northridge restaurant. Visit us online at northridgerestaurant.com.
And there's Joey Montoya, coach of the Placer Hillmen. I'm going to have to check with Gil Dominguez. Is this his 4th or 5th year, Gil? This is his 8th year. That's like I said. I was close. Was within single digits. Done a fine job, though.
Inside handoff to Tosti. Tosti winds his way upfield. He'll pick up about 5. And Tosti getting a lot more touches tonight than he usually does. He's only listed as a defensive end. He has no offensive designation on the Max Preps roster, but he is certainly making a dent in the offensive category tonight. 2nd and 5, Rain Robinson. Straight ahead runner, and he will get another 4. I'm going to bring up 3rd and short.
Rain Robinson is one of those backs that you can always get a few yards out of. Don't expect anything too fancy, but he'll put his head down and give you 2 yards almost every time.
And he was kept pretty quiet in the first half as well. And there's Perez, and Perez slips through a hole. He will have the first down easily, and he'll be stopped just short of the 10-yard line. So Placer 4 for 5 on 3rd down conversions.
Placer tonight has avoided one of the curses that they have. They have a propensity to get a lot of penalties. And we haven't seen hardly any flags tonight.
Just a total of 7 accepted penalties. There's an inside handoff, I believe, to Perez. And he will get about 2 on the play.
I believe this is our 4th game that we have seen with Placer. They are 5-5 on the season. And those games that we have seen losses, penalties, play a big part.
Placer does have 5 of the 7 penalties for 32 yards. They've been pretty limited. Late handoff to Kerrigan. Kerrigan has the edge, and he is in. Touchdown, Placer.
And once again, great deception from the hand of Michael Stuck. He really sold that play. Kerrigan was outside before anybody knew he was there.
Yeah, that looked like a Perez dive all the way. And Kerrigan just came streaking from the far side. Puts up Placer's 5th touchdown. We are 1 score away from a running clock here in the 3rd quarter. As the extra point is good. Placer extends their lead further. 35-7 with 8:28 left in the 3rd quarter. You're watching the first round of the CIF Sac Joaquin Section Football Playoffs. Here on the 20th anniversary season of the NorCal Game of the Week at touchdownproductions.com.
Thank you, Doug. Saving the whole rodeo.
Back at LeFebvre Stadium, Placer leads 35-7 on top of the Liberty Ranch Hawks. There's the kickoff. That's going to be a bit of a shorter one. That's going to bounce at the 20, fielded at the 12. And a nice run back here by Chandler Garcia. Garcia is going to be dragged down, and there's a horse collar on Josh Jacoby.
And too bad, too, because he may have had a chance at the end zone. He had momentum going and had a little bit of room, one man to beat. Jacoby will pay the price, though. He'll have to give up 15 yards.
A great run by Chandler Garcia, who he's had his name called a few times tonight. That's going to be a 15-yarder, and that will start the Hawks on the Placer 46. This is the second time Liberty Ranch has started in Placer territory. The first time they could not score. There's a pitch to Jones. Jones tries to cut back up the middle, and he will be stopped at the line of scrimmage, maybe a half-yard gain.
And getting up from the bottom of that pile, that is number 15, Hugh Hansen. They're also going to give it to Logan Moore. We've talked about Logan.
He's going to be another player sorely missed next year.
No question about that.
I'm going to give that maybe a few inches on the run. Jones in motion. Jones gets the handoff, and Jones will stagger forward for about 5. So Liberty Ranch, 3 for 8 on third down conversions in the first half. Will attempt to get a little bit closer to 50%. You want to be right around 60 to 70%, I think, at the high school level. You're doing all right. Here's 3rd and 6. Flushed out, and that play just had no time to develop. Good job by Placer getting into the backfield and surrounding Rick Van Houten. That'll actually be a loss of 2.
I'm not sure what they were doing that time. It looked like there was some confusion in the backfield.
Well, it looked like it was a designed quarterback run. But Placer just sealed everything. They had Van Houten boxed in. He had nowhere to go. So here's the punt. Two Hillmen back to receive it. High kick. That did not get a whole lot of distance, but it does take a Liberty Ranch bounce and a Liberty Ranch roll. Wow.
Big
it actually
time.
turned out to be a really nice punt. Placer will take over on their own 10. Wow, what a bounce.
It really was. Well, Liberty Ranch is going to be looking for some kind of defense and maybe even a defensive turnover here if they're going to get back into this football game.
Placer did commit one turnover in the first half, an interception at the end of the half that ended up not to hurt them, although Liberty Ranch did have a field goal attempt. It had the distance, just pulled a little bit. There's the inside handoff. I believe that was Rain Robinson. No, that was Perez. Perez will get half a yard. And what Liberty Ranch does is they stack the middle well, but it's always a bit of a coin flip as to whether or not they can get the edge.
And it's the wing T, Steve. They haven't seen it. They're confused by it. They're biting on all of the fakes, and that makes it easy for the backfield to find holes.
Here's second and long, stuck, hit, shovels it, and it's
a touchdown.
That's a touchdown.
I was just
How
saying,
about
this is
that?
what they needed. Stuck, bounced the ball. He was in the grasp, let go of it. It bounced up and right in the end zone. Do go the Liberty Ranch Hawks.
I believe that was Jacob Keckley.
And everybody is just mumbling
bizarre.
to themselves here on the sideline. Not what we expected.
That was very bizarre.
It was a gift.
I mean, that was supposed to be a shovel pass that saved a safety, but he shoveled it right into the arms of a Liberty Ranch lineman.
Was it a shovel pass or was he back there for a forward pass? It was a fumble, but what was he doing back there? I'm not sure exactly what. We're going to go to... He was back to hand it off, and it would appear, and it was just a fumble. They put the ball on the ground. Liberty Ranch was there, and the score now is 14-35. And things are going just a little brighter on the sideline for the Hawks.
Been a while since Liberty Ranch had something to cheer about. When we come back, they will kick off here on the 20th anniversary season of the NorCal Game of the Week at touchdownproductions.com. Back at LeFebvre Stadium, Liberty Ranch gets a gift of a touchdown, and they are set to kick off. There is the long line drive kick. That will actually go into the Placer end zone for a touchback. So Placer has started tonight on their own 35, their own 10, and now their own 20.
You know, when you get ahead by this much in high school football, it's easy to kind of lose concentration. I think the Hillmen had just kind of put it into overdrive, and they were just going to think about center next week. Well, that'll end up in a touchdown for the other side more often than not.
Still a three-possession game. Here's Kerrigan on the right side. Kerrigan gets a nice edge block. He pulls up, gets back upfield, and has more yardage. It's finally dragged down by Jack Wilmon. That's another huge run for Kerrigan, though. That'll put him at the 50-yard line, it looks like. That's actually the Liberty Ranch 49, so back into Hawk territory. Kerrigan having a fantastic game, picking up those big yard runs on the edge. Inside handoff to Rain Robinson, and Rain Robinson breaks a few tackles, tries to spin up field, trying to get that first down, but in the end he will be stopped a yard short. Never went down, though.
A little more energy and enthusiasm, though, on the Hawk defense.
Well, where the Hawk defense has been hurt have been on those surprise deep passes and on the edge runs by Kerrigan.
Well, second and short would be a good time to do one of those. Not so, though.
There's Rain Robinson again up the middle. Dragged down at the 33-yard line.
I dare you to get in front of Rain Robinson and just try to stop him head on. It doesn't happen. You're going to have to catch him low, and it takes a real strong defensive lineman to do that.
5'11", 225. That is.
You don't arm tackle the guy, that's for sure.
A new set of downs for the Hillmen. And off to Lopez. Lopez follows a few blocks, and he will get about 6 yards on the carry. And there's block. Just taking a look at that play, the Placer line pushed the Liberty Ranch line back about 3 yards from the line of scrimmage. That is what you want to see if you're a Hillman.
I was just about ready to say that, Steve. There was no defensive line there within 2 yards. But watch that there when they center the ball this time. Watch the offensive line of the Placer Hillmen drive the defensive line out. Look at this.
2nd and 5, inside handoff to Lopez, and Lopez is wrapped up quickly by Gabe Becerra.
There's big Gabe.
Gabe Becerra, I would say, has been the best defensive player for Liberty Ranch. In fact, the best player for Liberty Ranch tonight. And we knew coming in that if the Hawk defense was going to be here tonight, it'd be a long day for the Hillmen. But so far it's just been Becerra, Cuevas, and Tupito Ma'ai.
A fumble.
And another fumble. Kerrigan's got to pick it up on the run. Fumbles it again. This might be a Hawk. Another Hawk turnover. We'll see who fell on it.
Everybody's pointing in every direction. It looks
and
like
it's the Hawks
have got it. Yep.
That was either Tupito Ma'ai or Cuevas. It was one of the two who came up with it. And back-to-back fumbles on Placer possessions. Just a broken play in the backfield.
Quick replay here, and watch. You'll miss the handoff here, and then the ball jumps around. No one seems to be able to get a handle on it. Finally, there's a scrum for it.
Back to live action. Frazier on the sweeping handoff. He will get about 4 yards on the carry.
I mean, it's possible they could still get back into this football game.
I say only a 3-possession game, but there's still 15 minutes left in regulation. Just under 3 minutes now in the third quarter. Placer is.
I mean, if Donald Trump can win president, anything can happen, right?
Here's 2nd and 5. There's a fake reverse. Frazier holds on to it, and look at that, dragged down by Devin Tosti. That is a huge loss. That's a loss of about 8. That pins them at their own 30, and another 3rd and long for the Hawks. Four wide for Liberty Ranch, lone back. And false start, that was Ian Frazier. The hard count. The hard count fooled him. So just the 3rd Hawk penalty. And from 3rd and 12 to 3rd and 17. Getting back into those video game numbers. And we're at the 2-minute mark now. And this is essentially the point of no return for the Hawks. You might be able to get 3 possessions in the fourth quarter if you're lucky. 4 wide, lone back. Back to pass, fakes. Goes deep, and that's going to be picked off. Here's the run back to the 40, to the 30, and hit out of bounds at the 20. That interception, there is a flag down at the 33-yard line.
I think it is on the return, though, Steve.
It would have to be on the return where the flag is. That's got to be a block to the back or a hold. That interception, by the way, is on a number 28. who we do not have the name for because he is a JV call-up for the postseason. He is taking Johnny Callahan's place in the lineup.
He sure did a nice job of the run back, but guess who got the tackle? The man that threw the interception, Rick Van Houten. He was there with a vicious tackle at the end, angry about the fact he threw a bad ball.
So there is a block in the back. That'll be 10 yards for Placer. And there's a sideline warning on Placer. Well, that's the first Hawk turnover since their turnover on downs in the first quarter. And off to Perez. Perez has room, and Perez is dragged down close to the first down marker.
So back to business. The Placer Hillmen. That was Robinson carrying the ball that time. Minute 12 left in the third quarter. I'm not sure where Van Houten was throwing that ball that time. He just basically was laying it out there, hoping his receiver would get it.
There's a handoff to Rain Robinson again. This time gets a little bit of an angle up the middle and the first down plus about 10. So very close to the Hawk red zone. Inside 1 minute, we're at the 54-second mark. 1st and 10 on the 22-yard line. Clock begins to run down. Placer really in no rush to get to the line. Now the clock is their friend. It's Perez. Perez is stopped for a very short gain. 28 seconds. This might do it for the third quarter. Placer may try to get one more in, but 3-possession game, 15 seconds left. Really, there's no need to run another play. Well, looks like they might get one more. Clock's down to 7. And there it is, late handoff to Rain Robinson, that was Dallin Trentman. Trentman brought down for a loss, and that will be the final play of the third quarter. So Placer will have 3rd and long when we come back for the final 12 minutes here at Placer High School. You're watching exclusive coverage of Placer Hillmen football right here on the 20th anniversary season of the NorCal Game of the Week at touchdownproductions.com.
Your car is one of the most important assets you own. And Reeby's Auto Parts is dedicated to helping you keep it in tip-top condition. Reeby's Auto Parts is a family-owned and operated business since 1956. We have a friendly and knowledgeable staff, and as a Napa Auto Parts dealer, you're sure to find the right part you need from either of our 2 Nevada County locations. You can always count on Reeby's to be there when you need us. It's Reeby's Auto Parts in Nevada City and Grass Valley.
Back for the final 12 minutes of football here at Placer High School. The Hillmen lead 35-14. They've got 3rd and long. There's an inside handoff to Perez. Perez is going to fight his way close to the first down, but he will be short by a couple yards. And now if you're Placer, bring out the kicking unit.
I'm not sure I recall seeing them kick a field goal this year, Steve.
They've got a couple. They kicked a couple at Lincoln last week.
Oh, that's true. They sure did. And I was there, but it was a week ago. That's a long time for me.
It's been a long week, that's for sure.
It's been a long week.
34-yard field goal attempt. Low kick, and it is pulled wide left. So
plenty of leg.
The 34-yard field goal attempt is no good. The second missed field goal. I think that might be the most missed field goals I've witnessed in a high school game. Now Liberty Ranch takes over on their own 20-yard line. They trail by 21. 4 wide, 2 on each side. Hand off to Jones, and Jones is met by the entire Placer line. No gain.
That's the truth. He hit the brick wall and was stopped suddenly.
I think they'll give him a couple inches. And Morphin in on the tackle. And I think we should seriously consider Guillermo Morphin for player of the game. I really do. 2nd and 10. Rolling right, pulls up, throws left, incomplete for Ian Frazier, and Frazier had a whole lot of room on that left side.
He really did. They missed them a real opportunity there. Frazier was jetting out on into the flat, had one man to beat.
That was a fairly tough throw. He was rolling right and threw left.
All he had to do was beat Cooper Wilkins, though, on up there.
Frazier is only 5'5", 137. Wilkins probably could have taken him down.
Yeah, but they're hard to catch.
Here's 3rd and long. Again, rolling right. Pulls up, throws deep. Man coverage, and incomplete. Coverage by Colin Wright, intended for Frazier. And here comes the punt unit. This might just be the end of the game for the Liberty Ranch Hawks. You are unlikely to get 4 possessions in a quarter at the high school level, especially with Placer's offense rolling the way it has been. Two receivers back for the Hillmen. Good snap. Kind of a side spinning kick. This is going to be caught by Brandon Pello. Pello shakes a tackle and ends up getting about 6 yards after the catch.
So, Steve, let's go back to this conversation we're going to have about the Bill Sladen Son Player of the Game Award. Beautiful plaque trophy that will sit on some young man's desk forever. We get to hand them out once a game, and I've got to tell you, how could you not give it to Anthony Kerrigan?
Let's see. Here's the handoff to Kerrigan. Kerrigan on the left side has a block, and he's going to be dragged down to a gain of about 5.
Now, I do appreciate the fact you're trying to give it to a defensive player, which we seldom do. But Kerrigan, from the first play of the game, has done it, and he's done it on both sides of the ball.
There's no question he's been the offensive powerhouse, much more so than Perez and Rain Robinson, who usually share the load somewhat equally with him. He's been the standout player.
But out of nowhere, this guy Carrington comes in, and he has really carried this football team.
There's Perez. Perez slips the tackle, keeps his feet, and just bullies his way up to the 25-yard line for a first down.
You know, I might also say, and we'll talk about playing center here shortly, because it appears that the Placer Hillmen will have a game next week here on this field, and they will play a team that they lost by 1 point, if I recall. They won by 1 point early in the season.
New set of downs for the Hillmen. Quick handoff to Rain Robinson. Rain Robinson spins, has a block, keeps his feet, and he's brought down inside the 10.
What a bull. Rain Robinson, he was smelling that end zone.
And we have an injury on the field. That is number 72, Jack Wilmon, who is going to make his way off the field. Looks like he's favoring his left leg a little bit. And Placer's got a 1st and goal on the 8. Rain Robinson, left side, blows through one tackle, and he is in for the touchdown. Ethan Torres, the cornerback, had no chance at stopping Rain Robinson. Torres, 5'11", 150, trying to tackle Rain Robinson at 5'11", 225. That is not a good matchup.
Very often, no. You better be one heck of a good tackler. So the Hillmen pump it through for the extra point to make the score 42-14. 9 minutes and 38 seconds left.
And that if there was any question as to whether this game
had any possibilities
of a comeback, it is now gone, as it is up to a 4-possession game for the Hillmen. You're watching exclusive Placer Hillmen football right here on the 20th anniversary season of the NorCal Game of the Week at touchdownproductions.com.
With nearly 30 years of proudly serving our community, Auburn Toyota is expanding to offer more new Toyota inventory than ever before. Chances are we have the exact Toyota model you want, ready for you to drive home today. With many years of combined sales experience and hundreds of new Toyota cars, trucks, 4x4s, and SUVs, now is the perfect time to buy at Auburn Toyota. Come see why for generations Foothill Toyota buyers buy from Auburn Toyota, which is why we like to say Auburn Toyota is the place where the customers come back.
Back at LeFebvre Stadium, Placer leads by 28 by a score of 42-14. There's the kick from Blake Van Dyke. This will be caught at the 5-yard line. Up to the 20, up to the 28. I mean, nice return there from Chandler Garcia. And Liberty Ranch needs a whole lot of yardage in not very much time.
So Liberty now playing for pride. 9 minutes and 30 seconds left. Many of the seniors know they're in for some of their last play with pads.
At least at the high school level.
Most of them will play only in their last game here. Very rarely do you have a player that'll go and play in college. Maybe 1 in 15.
Jones trying to get the edge, pulls up. And he will be dragged down. Finally caught by Cooper Wilkins on the edge. Gain of just about 3.
I mean, we've seen players come through clearly, Steve, that were being recruited and even as juniors. But
last year's Folsom quarterback at NU rings a bell there.
Of course.
Here's 2nd and 6. Clock under 9 minutes now. Jones in motion again. Fake handoff, throwing deep, wide open is Jack Lopez, and he can't ring it in.
Holy cow. Lopez couldn't find the football. They just threw it out there. If he'd taken his time, set and thrown the ball accurately, that would have been a touchdown.
There was no Hillman within 15 yards of Jack Lopez.
And 15 yards is a gift. I mean, come on, there was nobody out there at all. How did he get there?
Everyone bid on the fake handoff. It wasn't just the corners, it was the linebackers, the corners, and the safeties all crashed forward. Here's 3rd and 6, high snap. Jones up the middle. Brought down by Chase Laguna Scott. First time we've called his name tonight. Ordinarily a huge figure on the defensive side of the ball. And at 4th and 1, Liberty Ranch brings out the punt unit. That's the white flag.
That's surprising to me. Why would they punt it away? They're really not holding very well on defense. Why don't they try to hold them right here, keep the football?
There's no one back for Placer. And it's a fake. That's a quick handoff, and it works. That went from Jared Thornburg to Mason Peterson. And Peterson manages to convert on 4th down. How about that?
Nice play. Maybe that's why Placer didn't have anybody back. They were thinking it was going to be a fake all the way.
Still couldn't stop it.
Still couldn't stop it.
That's the first 4th down conversion of the game by either team. The Hawks tried one in the first half and were unsuccessful. So a new set of downs for the Hawks as we approach 7:30 left in the game. Back to pass. Steps up, and he's brought down. Loose ball fallen on by Jack Wilmon. Will only be a loss of a yard. The Hawks are just fortunate they kept possession.
Stepped up into the pocket, looked like he had someone he wanted to hit. But ball comes loose. Luckily, Wilmon was there to fall on it.
Pocket just collapsed a half second before Rick Van Houten could get rid of the ball. Here's 2nd and 10. Very late handoff to Jones, and Jones going to be brought down in the backfield by about 3 Hillmen.
Well,
how about that backfield pressure by the Hillmen?
Number 25, Kabongo Scott, completely blew the play up, was in that backfield. He could have taken the handoff for that matter. There's a name that we're going to miss, Kabongo Scott.
It's a good name, that's for sure. So 3rd and long for the Hawks yet again. Probably now they're in 4-down territory. It's 6:20 left. There's the fake. There's the pocket collapsing. Got rid of it and caught. Jack Lopez. This time he does come down with it, and this time it is a 3rd down conversion for the Hawks.
You know, Lopez has everything you want in your tight end. He's a great big tall guy.
6'4".
6'4", 195. If they come this way for basketball, I'm sure we'll see him. But a nice completion.
He, along with Nico Cuevas, are the 2 tallest Liberty Ranch players on the team. New set of downs for the Hawks. Hand off to Frazier. Frazier gets dragged down, and that's going to be another horse collar, it looks like. Either that or a sideline infraction, judging on where that flag was thrown.
Actually, I think it may even have been a face mask, Steve. I'm not sure, but he went down kind of awkwardly.
Mm-hmm.
I think it'll cost him 15 yards.
Placer's moving way downfield. We'll see what the call is here. That's a face mask. And we'll see if this is a 10 or a 15. This is looking like a 10.
Personal foul, face mask on the defense. 1st down.
So not an automatic 1st down, but that 10-yard penalty is good enough to move the sticks. They are now inside the Placer red zone with 5:45 left. Another double fake handoff. Pass caught, and in the end zone, Jack Lopez.
And he had the ball. They're going to give him a touchdown. Yeah, the ball was stripped out late.
Colin Wright really wanted that fumble called, but in my mind, Lopez had control and possession in the end zone before it was forced out.
We'll check with our producer, Gil Dominguez, to see what he thinks. He says it's a touchdown.
At 5:34, Jack Lopez has brought some life into this Liberty Ranch team.
Certainly making it respectable.
Kick is up and good. And that brings the score to 42-21 with 5:30 left. Liberty Ranch not going quietly into the offseason. They're watching the first round of the CIF Sac Joaquin Section Playoffs here on the 20th anniversary season of the NorCal Game of the Week at touchdownproductions.com.
Hey, hon, remember the guys are coming over later to watch the game.
Make a play for winning trays from Thaks. We have the perfect tray for every game and every fan. So use your app or order online today.
Make Portishead your destination.
Back at LeFebvre Stadium, Placer leads 42-21, and don't forget, next week, the Center Cougars, assuming Placer holds on to win here, will come back into town. They lost by 1 point earlier in the season, and they are looking to get back at the Hillmen with a postseason upset right here at touchdownproductions.com. Again, that is next week.
And that will be some kind of football game here at Placer Stadium.
There's the Interesting looking onside kick. That's going to roll all the way to the 20 before it's picked up by Anthony Kerrigan. Kerrigan hops back to the outside, and he will just run out of bounds at the 26.
Kerrigan forced out of bounds at the 26-yard line.
I'm not sure that was exactly how that kick was supposed to go. The kicker ordinarily is Devin Hardaway. That time the kick came from Matt Hopper, who is a sophomore backup quarterback. Also, he's listed as a free safety, but he squibbed that kick all the way down to the 20.
So unusual that people were just standing there kind of watching it go by.
I think that had a little bit more mustard on it than the Hawks would have wanted. 5:28 left in the fourth quarter. There's a handoff to Perez. Perez dragged down by the ankles. Nice tackle from Jarlath to Pito Mai.
It's Morgan Rain Robinson time, too. You're just going to kill 5 minutes on the clock.
Three possession game, absolutely.
Yeah, give it to your horse. Let the bull carry the ball up the middle. Dare the defense to stop him.
I would be very surprised indeed if Michael Stuck goes through the air.
They're going to give themselves a penalty here. They're having problems getting the play in again.
Well, down to 3.
2.
I think Placer's going to have to take a timeout, and they do.
Well,
that stops the clock at 4:46. That's Placer's first timeout, though. Not that they really need to hang on to him, up 21 with 4:46 left.
You may have to pin that one on Joey Montoya, too. I think he was having problems calling a play.
Well, Paul, I think you finally won me over on the Player of the Game award. I think Anthony Kerrigan has really made the most difference for the Hillmen. I will give this to Morphin. He was the best defensive player, and earlier in the game, before it was as wide a margin as we see right now, Morphin really did make sure that Liberty Ranch didn't make a comeback sooner. But Anthony Kerrigan on the offensive side really just exposed a glaring weakness in Liberty Ranch, and that was their corner. They just could not seal the corner effectively tonight, and Kerrigan, when he's coming in from the far side and gets that handoff at full speed, he gets to that edge so fast, none of the corners could keep up. The linebackers couldn't get there to seal it, and it was down to the free safeties to try and drag him down. And that is going to be Leo Ciaffoli with the carry, and Ciaffoli is going to get about 5 yards. So now we do see the second string offense in to kill some time.
I was just advised by Gil Dominguez that Anthony Kerrigan has won the award previously. So it'll be our first two-time award winner this year.
Here's 3rd and 4, almost fumbled by, I believe that was Perez. He came around. That's number 34. That's got to be another JV call-up.
And for the players on the Placer team that are watching this game, this broadcast, let's be reminded that it takes an entire team to win any football game, and there have been some excellent players. We try to call them out. Steve Sitter and myself, we don't give nearly enough attention to the offensive line, especially who had a fantastic game tonight.
And when I get the opportunity, I always make sure I know who gets those key blocks on the big runs. A nice punt from Josh Jacoby. It's going to be fielded at about the 28-yard line, and Chandler Garcia tacks on about 3 yards to the end of it. And a pretty average field position, starting field position for Liberty Ranch. And down to 4:27 left. So we will be seeing the center Cougars come in. They will be trying to make up for their 1-point defeat earlier in the year to these Placer Hillmen. There's the throw complete And a nice little juke move there to get about 3 extra yards.
Tackled at the 39-yard line by number 53, Salatin.
They'll actually give Jones about 8 yards on the catch. A big upset by center. They're very happy they get the chance to hang around the second round, upsetting the number 3 seed.
You would have to think that the winner of that game between Center and Placer, they will go on to the championship, but they very likely will win the championship.
Nice run by Jones, but it will come back. There's a hold on the play. Just the 4th penalty on Liberty Ranch tonight. A total of 12. I think if there's one area that Placer really does need to work on, it would be the penalties. Looks like they had 7 for just about 70 yards. That's something to look out for. They were pretty major penalties in this third half anyway, or the second half. Third quarter, they had the, they've had the face mask, they had a block to the back. You know, little things, but they show up upon further reflection. Here's 2nd and 15. Van Houten flushed out, avoids pressure, throws, has Jones wide open, and Jones can't make the catch.
It was a bad throw, unfortunately. Again, he needed to set himself and hit his receiver. That was 7 points. He was coming out of a crowd, though, bearing down on him from the right end.
Did a good job just to escape a sack.
Yeah, Laguna Scott, Chase, was bearing down on him. He was lucky to get away from Chase.
So here's 3rd and long again. About 3:30 left in the game now. And this play taking a long time to get started. And looks like they will just get it off. Rolling, pulls up, throws across to Jones, and Jones again cannot make the one-handed grab. And here comes the punt team yet again for the Hawks. The clock stopped at 3:33. So the Hawks with 2 timeouts, trailing by 3 possessions with about 3 minutes left. I have to imagine wouldn't really try to stop the clock, get a stop, do anything crazy like that. So we will see Placer more than likely with the 2nd string offense just trying to run some time off. Nice snap. Kick will hit at about the 48-yard line, take a Placer bounce, and will roll out of bounds on the Liberty Ranch 49.
So Placer will bring in some of their substitutes. We'll see in the backfield now. I'm looking down the list. Haley Johnson, number 10, is in. Brandon Pello will play in the backfield. We already know that Johnny Callahan, the backup quarterback, is not playing tonight, so Michael Stuck will stay with that duty.
There's a quick handoff to Perez, and Perez will be tackled at right about the 1st down line. And it looks like they're going to give him the 1st down.
Straight up the middle, Perez showing his strength.
And I will say this for Liberty Ranch, that's one of the only times a straight ahead handoff up the middle resulted in a big gain. Their middle linebacker and their offensive line have done a pretty good job tonight of filling the holes up the middle. That was a rather strange run. And a nice tackle. That was Haley Johnson, wrapped up by Gabe Becerra. So taking a look at Liberty Ranch, Gabe Becerra is a senior. Nico Cuevas is a senior. Jarlath Tupito Mai is a senior. Jack Lopez is a senior. Adrian Jones is a senior. They've got a lot of defensive seniors that they're really going to struggle to replace.
You know, on the other side of the ball, coming back for Joey Montoya next year, he does have his quarterback, who's a sophomore, Michael Stoops.
There's a ball fumbled and it's fallen on by Brandon Pello.
Anthony Kerrigan will be back. Mario Perez will be back. So
those are two big players.
Those are three very high-skilled players with experience. And let's face it, you bring back that squad right there, you know you're going to have some kind of offense. Looking down the list, they do have some defensive. Lopez Carlo, Curtis Skaggs, Leland Addison.
Leland Addison is going to be another
monster.
Yeah, another big player next year on the line. Here's 3rd and forever. Inside handoff to number 40, who is another junior varsity call-up that we don't have on the roster, but a nice gain of about 10.
To the 35-yard line.
And that will wind the clock down under a minute. And it looks like on 4th and 7, they're going to go for it. If for no other reason, then the clock will start. If they don't manage to get it, it will start when Liberty Ranch takes over. Either that or Coach Montoya is just waiting until there's no time left on the play clock. Call a timeout. That's what it looks like he's going to be doing. Oh, no, they'll just take the delay of game. And there's the punt unit. That's interesting.
I'm not sure why he did that, but you get 5 more yards. And
well, Jacoby is back to kick. And Jacoby tonight has done a pretty good job as a punter. He hasn't had a whole lot of work, but what little he has had, this will only be his 2nd punt tonight. Nice snap, and that kick will fly out of bounds at around the 20-yard line.
Trying for the corner.
Yeah, he was aiming for the corner, and it will actually be inside the 20 at about the 18.
47 seconds on the clock here.
I mean, it's enough time for a huge run or some other huge play, but barring that, if Placer's defense stands up, this will be the final score, 42-21. And be sure to join us next week as the Center Cougars come back into town. I cannot stress this enough. This is a grudge match for the Cougars.
And likely whoever wins this football game will go on to win the championship. It will be the Division IV semifinals, and Division IV will be up for grabs.
How about this naked bootleg from Rick Van Houten? And Houten's going to get hit. There is a very late flag coming in well away from the play. There was a Liberty Ranch player who was on the ground at the time when that flag came in.
Van Houten saying to himself, this is my last play. I'm going to take it myself around the left end all by myself.
Yeah, it's a shame those yards don't count because it's a holding penalty.
It's true.
All I did was take 10 seconds off the clock and will march Liberty Ranch back about 9.5 yards.
On the offense. Repeat 1st down.
Actually, that hold came about 10 yards into the run, so it's essentially a do-over with 10 seconds off the clock. Placer fans are preparing to leave. Throw over the middle, tipped, and somehow reeled in.
Nice. Good way to finish the game. One-handed catch. That was number 80 again. We've seen him before, Jack Lopez.
So Lopez with a great catch. Might be his final catch as a high school player. Clock runs down to 20 seconds. Down inside 20 seconds. Still talking about this. Down to 15 seconds. And they're going to get one more playoff. Inside 10. There's a very broken play in the backfield. Heading across, caught by Lopez, dragged out of bounds, and that is the game. Final score, Placer Hillmen 42, Liberty Ranch Hawks 21. And they will face the Center Cougars next Friday right here at LeFebvre Stadium for round 2 of the CIF Sac Joaquin Section Les Schwab Tires Division 4 playoffs presented by Farmers Insurance. And Paul, this was not the game that either of us expected.
Not at all.
But a very fun game to watch nonetheless.
And a good playoff game and a good game that prepares for next week's semifinals. We'll be right back here. Paul Brown, Steve Sitter, and Gil Dominguez will bring you that game, and it will be a firecracker. I'll give you that.
Just taking a look at some quick totals. Placer ended the night 4 for 8 on third down conversion, 0 for 3 in the fourth quarter with the second string in. So if you take that away, they end up 4 for 5 on the night. And the Liberty Ranch defense, which coming into tonight, remember, was averaging 11.5 points allowed per game, ends up giving up 42 to a Placer offense that was only averaging 29 points per game.
Good touchdown at the end for Placer. It was a good game through a first couple of quarters, but clearly Placer was the stronger of the two teams. And there they are having their moment on the field, singing the alma mater. Some smiles on the faces of these players. They know they get to play another football game, maybe 2.
And how about this for Liberty Ranch? Last week we saw Lincoln pretty much dominate the offensive side. Tonight, Liberty Ranch 3 for 14 on third down conversions.
Wow.
That is a huge statistic. All 3 of those conversions came in the first half. Second half, it was all Placer.
So let's go down on the field. We will meet our player of the game, and that will be Anthony Kerrigan, number 21. Down on the field here at Placer Stadium with Anthony Kerrigan, number 21. Anthony, you had a heck of a ball game tonight. What's it mean to you that your team has won and is moving on in the playoffs?
I just like having another week with my brothers, and I just want to keep winning with them. I don't want it to end.
I wouldn't blame you much. So from the beginning, you started off with some excellent running. How did you feel? You must have you caught your stride early.
Yeah. We all came out firing. The offensive line came out firing, and we never really lost our stride the whole game. So that was really good.
I was particularly impressed with your first touchdown, the touchdown where you were just about 10 yards out. You gave him a little move to the inside. Where did you find that move? Where did you come from out of nowhere, Anthony?
I actually learned that move from YouTube, and I was looking up this one guy named Tavon Austin. He does the same move, so I kind of have it in my mind now to do it once in a while.
Well, I'll tell you, the coaches at Placer High School are glad that you are a junior because we'll get to see more of the same next year. Mm-hmm. Steve Sitter, I know you have some words for Anthony.
I definitely do. Lincoln last week kind of came out of nowhere to surprise you. Were you thinking about that at all tonight, or were you just focused on the game?
No, I was just focused on this game. I just want another week with my brothers, and I just want to go out there and win with them.
Next week you've got Center. It was a very close game, 16-15. Are you expecting any changes in the game plan, or is it going to be the same old Placer wing tee we've seen?
Oh, it's going to be the same ground and pound, kick them down in the dirt and just go out there and grind it out.
All right, Anthony, thank you very much. Good luck next week against the Cougars.
On the field with victorious coach Joey Montoya. Joey, what can you say about this Hillman team tonight?
So proud of these guys, to start the way we started, to face the adversity that we faced with injuries and start slow in the preseason, and then for us to turn it around in a tough league and win it, and then face some more adversity at the end of the league season, and then come in here against a great football team, and to be going to the second straight semifinal game in 2 years, couldn't be more proud.
You know, that's a big thing. They dropped you down to Division 4 this year. Big difference between Division 3 and Division 4.
Absolutely, there is. I mean, there's a lot more speed in Division 3. This is Division 3 tends to be more physical, blue collar type teams, and so we're right in the middle of the pack in terms of our school size in Division 4. So we're right where we should be this year. And hey, I don't think a lot of people gave us a shot to even make the playoffs this year. With how young we were and how we started, and then to be where we're at, in the driver's seat against a team that we've played before, we couldn't be more excited.
Now, last week's game up at Lincoln, they have some great players, obviously. They say that no loss is a good loss, but do you think that was kind of a wake-up call for your team?
I don't know if wake-up call was the right word, because I think our kids were focused last week. I think it was a realization that, hey, we've got to play at a different speed and we've got to tackle. I mean, you take away 7 plays, which granted they were all big plays. We played a good football game, but it was 7 plays, and it was just very uncharacteristic of us. And so we fixed, we right the ship because we played great athletes tonight. We got it done, and now we move on to another very talented, great athletic team.
And especially what you were saying, the way the team started. When we saw you over at Colfax, and Colfax was 4-1, you were 1-4, we really didn't know what kind of Placer team we were going to see that night.
No doubt. And, losing 3 of our best players, our starters, to season-ending injuries as well, we had our back against the wall, and the coaching staff and the kids just never gave up. We just persevered. We just stuck. We stayed the course. We knew that this was going to be a process with this team. You got 4 sophomores playing for you, a bunch of juniors in key position, and a bunch of seniors that very few of them saw significant playing time last year. We just knew that this was going to be a process, and we got to the league. We got some confidence, and we got the ball rolling, and here we are today.
Now, you've been at this kind of a long time now here at Placer. And you've seen some great teams. You've been to some championship games, dealt with parents, coaches. What's the number one thing that you've learned, do you think, so far in your years that you've been back?
That's a great question. I think, one, our system works. What we do is good for kids, and at the end of the day, I get to work with some of the best men around, with my coaching staff. I get to work with some of the greatest kids around. The kids here at Placer High School are second to none. We've got a great faculty, and we got a great thing going here, and the future's bright.
Well, you've really built the program over the years, and instituted the wing tee at all the different levels, and you're right, the Placer community, the Auburn community, going back over 100 years with this school, it's hard to run into anybody into town that hasn't gone to Placer High School.
It's a special place. It's a special school. It's a special community. Like you said, many of them are alumni, and even the ones that aren't alumni love this high school. It's kind of the focal point of the community, and so we're excited to be here. I love being here. My family's, ingrained into this school. My wife's the head soccer coach, and and et cetera. And so
you're alumni,
and I'm an alumni, no doubt. My mom's my family's an alumni. So I'm part of that history, and I look forward to many great years here.
Well, as we celebrate our 20th year of broadcasting, it's very special for us to come down here to LeFebvre and see you, or go to the Earl Crab and see Mark and his boys, and or Camalucci, and just be part of your successes and the hard times too. But what do they say about Hillmen?
Well, it's great to be a Hillman. The best of times and the worst of times, and at all times, it's great to be a Hillman.
There you go. Coach Joey Montoya. Coach, thanks a lot. We look forward to seeing you next week.
Hey, thank you very much.
So that wraps up the first round of the CIF Sac Joaquin section football playoffs for Division 4. Placer handily defeats Liberty Ranch 42-21. And next week they will take on the Center Cougars, who had to pull off an upset in their first round game yesterday in order just to make it to round 2.
Your executive producer, Gilbert M. Dominguez. Announcers tonight, Steve Sitter and Paul Brown.
And of course, the wonderful camera work of the very same Gilbert M. Dominguez. So for the three of us here at Touchdown Productions, we will see you next week at LeFebvre Stadium right here on the campus of Placer High School. The Placer Hillmen take on the Center Cougars in round 2 of the CIF Sac Joaquin Section Les Schwab Tires Division 4 football playoffs presented by Farmers Insurance. Have a good week, and we will see you right back here on touchdownproductions.com.